What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Loading Up podcast. I'm your host, Producer J. I am here with
Brother Zay.
Your brother Zay today. Okay, not brother Zay.
No.
Not brother
No.
Zay.
No, I am myself today.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, I feel bad because I feel like I've been saying this every week for the past 2 weeks. Brother Tay is not here this week. He actually is feeling sick. So we're gonna move on without him, but hopefully he'll be next week, because next week we do have a special episode. I'll just let you know right now.
Oh no!
Your boy finally beat God of War.
Ooh,
Thank you.
Claps.
Claps for me. Claps for me. So, we're gonna do a special episode breaking down. It's gonna be like a spoiler cast, and we're just gonna go through everything about the game. Like I said, full spoilers, and it's gonna be me, brother Zay, brother Tay, because he's gonna be back hopefully, and brother Jay from the Excuse Me Brother podcast, because he actually was the one that came up with this idea. And
because he's the resident God of War enthusiast.
He's more of he's an addict. Let's be honest, because it took so long for us to get him to play something else. Literally, I remember I asked him to borrow God of War. He told me, "Okay, hold up, because I'm gonna beat it for the 4th time again." I'm like, "What? You're really gonna not let me borrow the game because you're gonna beat it again for the 4th time? Like, how many times do you need to be?" The thing is, though, that gets me, and I don't know how. Like, he hasn't platinumed it.
He hasn't?
No, he has not. And I asked him, I was like, "How do you play this game so much and you don't even have all the trophies?"
Dang, slacking.
I know, right? I'm gonna call him out when we get it.
When we record that episode, we're gonna call him out.
Yeah, no, he gonna get it. But but yeah, it's just it boggles my mind how you could play a game that much, put so much hours into it, and you don't even have all the trophies for it. But we'll discuss that on that episode. But so I finally beat it, and
very good.
Very, very good. Very good, I will say. Very good. I mean, I had no doubts, obviously. And I'm not fully done with it, because I know we spoke before that there's like a second ending, like the first game. So I'm doing all the stuff to make sure I'm completely done with it.
Okay. That's
fair. I should be done. Probably after we record, I'll hop back on, because I only got like 2 more things to do.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah. But how you been?
I've been good, playing games, going to work, the usual.
The life.
Yeah. I've been playing some Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We'll get to that, because I've also been playing that.
Oh, nice.
It's it honestly, like, it was a breath of fresh air, to be honest. And I'm glad now that I finished God of War, I can like dive straight into that, because I always go through this. What's that?
Yeah, I said move on.
Yeah, move on, because like I always go through this like time where right after I beat a game, I don't know what to play next, and I'm just like, oh, I can't just, I do this with everything. I can't just move on. Like, it's so hard for me to go to the next thing with like TV shows. When I'm like binging like a movie series or whatever, it's hard for me to just move on to the next thing, because I want more of what I was getting. But all good things must come to an end, right?
That's true.
Yeah, but at least this came out in the perfect time, because now I have something there already.
Absolutely. I mean, although you probably have a bigger backlog anyway.
Well, yes, but I don't. No, it's okay. No, I don't think Hi-Fi Rush is gonna be that long. It doesn't seem like a long game.
No, it's not a long game, but it's a good game.
Okay. Yeah, we'll discuss it more when we get to the showcase or developer direct, whatever you call it. But yeah. So yeah, I've been playing that. been playing the Marble Snap, obviously. I've been playing a lot less of Marble Snap, surprisingly.
This season is kind of like, eh.
Yeah, like I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. It's just like I don't feel like there's anything worth like playing for at least this
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to level up because I honestly I didn't even know that because I started late because I know Marvel Snap's been around for like 5 months already, but I started late and um I didn't even know you could have like titles.
Yeah, they have whole ranking systems and everything.
Yeah, I wasn't even there yet. That's how late I got into it. And
Oh
then
man.
I found out about it and I saw it and I was like, "Oh, they have that?" And then
It
yeah,
gets
so
it gets more competitive as you rank up.
no, I'm noticing that now. Like
Yeah.
when I used to be like, "Yo, this is mad easy." Like I feel like I'm playing freaking
You
bots.
I think in the beginning you were playing bots, yeah. But now it's
Really?
like, yeah, yeah, I think the first at least 20 matches are bots. And
No,
then after
I feel like that all the way for like 100 matches. I felt like I was playing like freaking level 1 bots or something like that because the decisions that they were making, I was like, yo, what are they like? I
oh,
could pick like when I know I'm in a losing situation, I could pinpoint. I'll be like, okay, they're gonna put that there, they're gonna put that there, and I lost. And then they do something completely different. I'm like, yo, you had this. Why did you do this? You could have won.
I got to the point where it's like I'm playing against actual people, so I
Uh-huh.
have to really use a lot of strategy, and it's like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and then the situation change per section. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, it gets out of hand sometimes.
it really does.
But I have no motivation to play it with this season. It's kind of trash.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully. Well, how long is this season? Does it say? It says, right? It's like,
Says it, but I don't know how long it is.
hopefully it's not that much longer, to be honest. But no, I feel good playing that game because I win so much, and maybe honestly that's also partly why too, because it's like if I'm winning all the time, it's like it's not fun.
Yeah, I can count on my hand, my one. I could count one hand how many times I've lost. So
Yeah, same. I could probably maybe not one hand, but I could count maybe on two hands how many times I've lost out
yeah,
of however many games
I
that
know
I
how
can.
many games we've played so far. Yeah,
I don't even want to look up that information because in the beginning I was literally an addict.
let's just put that on the back burner.
Yeah, we
We're
won't
not gonna
talk about that.
we're not gonna go there.
No, but well, I guess all right. So this is not really related to what we were talking about, but this came up. I was thinking about it earlier. So you know how there are games that you just like you enjoy so much. I was just talking about like moving on and stuff like that, and no, I guess that
Like
does kind of tie into that. Like I
I
want more of what I already had and what I was playing or whatever. And there are times where like I want to be able to re-experience what I had
uh-huh.
like for the first time because it was such a great like experience to get into.
Yeah.
Like is there any there has there ever been a game that you wish you can re-experience for the first time?
Absolutely.
What was
Absolutely.
that?
So I just wish I can wipe my memory of Red Dead Redemption 2 and
Yeah?
just dive in first time. Like I don't know anything about the series and just play it all over again because I absolutely loved Red Dead Redemption 2. It was so good. The story, the characters, Arthur Morgan as your protagonist was it played his part perfectly. That's definitely a game where if my memory gets erased, I want to play that again. That's the one.
That's a good choice. I still need to play that. I mean I'm a broken record with that. But
Here we go.
no, well, I actually played it. I put some time in it, but so
So,
the reason why I stopped is because like part way through me playing it, my Xbox actually like it kept overheating.
oh,
Not
but
that like yeah, so like and the fan would be like super loud and I was like, yeah, no, I can't. Cause I
it's
remember there was people talking about like that it's a very like
like,
power
oh,
intensive game. And I had the 1X
Oh,
So
that's why.
I was like, yeah, no, this is pushing my console to the limit.
Yeah,
So
but
I
don't you have the
remember,
Series X now though, right?
well, yeah, I have the Series X now, so
Oh,
I don't have to worry about that. But
but
at the
at home,
time,
I
I heard that, and the fan was like really loud. I was like, yeah, that's not normal. Then I looked it up, and people were saying, oh, you can change the thermal paste on it or whatever. So I did that, but I made a mistake.
oh no.
And I don't, to this day, I don't know for sure. I have a hunch on what happened. So I opened up my Xbox. I put the thermal paste on, and uh, it died. It did not turn back on. The
Damn.
thing is, I've opened it up before because I remember I had to change something, like something got knocked loose or whatever, so I had to open it up to see what was going on. And I think it was like the Wi-Fi module or something like that. But um yeah, so I had opened it up before. It wasn't like anything that I haven't done, but I think was when I was unscrewing the screws, it I accidentally like chipped some of the motherboard,
Oh
and it
wow.
yeah, I think it like scratched it, and it probably scratched in a very specific spot that shouldn't have been scratched, and it just died. So I had to say rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, and then I had to buy another one. Luckily, I was able to get one like on sale. It was like $100 cheaper, but yeah, ever since then, I was just like, you know what? No, I'm gonna just play something else. But yeah,
Oh,
no, that's a
what's
good
your
choice.
game?
So my game, I mean, it should come as no surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Mass Effect.
I knew it.
No, it's just it's interesting because so as we've talked about it before that brother Jay has been playing it, and it took us a lot of convincing for him to get into it because he didn't want to play anything else other than God of War. So
Yeah.
it became it was on PS Plus, right? Yeah, because he didn't buy it. Um, so
Yeah, I
it
believe it
was
was, yeah.
yeah, so it was available on there, and then he just started playing it, and he got into it, and it was so entertaining because it was kind of like I was experiencing it again through him. So
Yes.
it made it more fun to because I get to see what he shows and be like, oh, why'd you do that? And we warned him about a
Yeah,
bunch of stuff that he did not listen to. So
of course.
so it was good to like see him kind of like go through it and have us like update and stuff like that. But yeah, no, that's I mean I know I said a game, but really the whole trilogy. I
I
wish I
knew it
could
was gonna be
just
the whole trilogy for you. I just know
experience.
it.
You can't just pick one game. I mean, if I had to, it would probably be Mass Effect 2.
Of
Because I feel like
course.
that one was, because honestly, that was the first one that got me into it. Because I got into two. No, I played the first one, but I guess I was just too young and I just didn't understand like how things worked. And it was too complicated for me at the time. But then I gave it another shot with Mass Effect 2, and then I got into it, and then I went back and played the rest.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so that without a doubt, that one.
Yeah. And I agree with you. Having brother Jay play it and him telling us what he did and what he's going through and just hearing his like his favorite character was Modin and all that,
Mm-hmm.
it was just it was nice
Yeah. No,
to
yeah.
be able to relive it through him.
Is there'd be times and like I'll see it on like Twitter or whatever because I follow like the Mass Effect topic.
Uh-huh.
So I'll see a bunch of stuff on it, and then I think it was like a few months ago I saw a picture of the I could spoil it, like it's been mad long. The in Mass Effect 3 where you're with Tali and what's his name? The Geth. Legion.
Legion, yeah.
Yeah. And you have to like decide like what to do or whatever, and you have to make sure like then he can like sacrifice himself and stuff like that. And literally like I watched that cutscene again and it got me choked up
Oh
because
my
like
god.
that when he turns to or Tali says that she's sorry or whatever, and he says no, I forgive you, and then he says Kila Salai, and yo, oh my gosh, like it's emotions. But like that's the type of stuff that like I wish I could just re-experience for the first time because it's such like an impactful moment, and there's it's chock full of those throughout the whole series. So
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. That's
it's
definitely a good series.
yes, I'd
Definitely.
recommend it to anybody who enjoys a good story.
Absolutely.
Just pardon the ending. That's it. That's it. Although it could still be rectified with the next Mass Effect. So I
Well,
mean,
we'll see. They're
we'll
currently
see.
working on Mass Effect 4, you know,
Yes.
so we'll see what happens. The story
Yeah.
continues.
Indeed, indeed. So
Yeah,
we could
so
just get right into the news.
absolutely. We'll jump right in. So start off a little bit with some gaming news, but slightly political. Last week we announced that Xbox was changing some settings. They were trying to make zero waste, by 2030, and they just added some settings so that way Xbox users can use less energy throughout the day and pick particular times where games and stuff will update, so it uses less energy overall. Apparently, some Republicans in Congress didn't like that. They were using it as a tool for their political gains, trying to say that now the so-called woke crowd is coming for your Xbox. And in reality, all these settings have been there for as long as the system has been out since Xbox One. So nothing has really changed for Xbox. The settings have always been there. They're just making it more modular so they can save more energy. Um, so these politicians who obviously don't know what they're talking about with gaming are just coming in there trying to continue their little culture war and bringing gaming into it.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a surprise. You knew somebody was gonna come after Xbox for this. I don't understand. Like this affects you like zero. Like you can change it back to what it was. You don't have to do this.
Yes.
And it only benefits for people who actually want to conserve energy. So it's like why would you think that this is why would you try and spin this as something negative? And it's not like it's decreasing performance. It's just decreasing the amount of energy it uses when you're not using it.
I
So it's
mean,
like when you're using it, it's the same. Nothing changes.
the right will come after anything that doesn't have to do with something that can actually affect the people. They will just deflect and use this so-called wokeness as a tool for them to use against the people instead of actually fixing the country. Maybe
Yeah.
fixing inflation. Instead of actually creating laws to help people, they're just gonna go ahead and focus on things like your Xbox and gas stove will be banned soon. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like of all the things to be upset about, that this is what they're getting upset about. Freaking Xbox power settings.
Yeah.
It's I mean, we spoke about it off air. I could go on about this, but this is not a political show.
No.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's worth mentioning, but
yes,
Xbox is not going anywhere. Your Xbox is fine. Your settings are fine. Do with what you will. They're just making things a little bit better. They're making more choices for the consumer, and more choices can never be a bad thing.
exactly.
Yeah. So we'll continue on with some news of angry gamers because it was leaked by a Twitter leaker named Billy Bilcone. Leaked Redfall will have a price increase of $70. And it's been coming for a long time. A lot of companies have been going with their first party games dropping at $70. But yeah, obviously gamers are not happy in general. But also on the flip side, particularly for Xbox users, all their first party games will be Game Pass day one. So if you're an Xbox subscriber, Game Pass subscriber, you can try the game out on Game Pass before you decide to buy. If you like it, you go buy. If you don't like it, you just uninstall it. There you go.
Yep.
So
No,
I don't understand the hate behind it.
it's
You know?
it's false hate. It's false concern for the price increase. Because okay, I'll be honest. I am the first person to be against like $70 games. I was against it when EA was doing it, when Take Two was doing it, and Activision. I was against it 100%. Even Sony, when they did it, I was against it. Even when Microsoft announced it a few months ago, I was against it because I don't want to pay more. It's against my best interest as a consumer.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously it makes no sense for me. Oh yeah, you know what? $70, that sounds better. $10 more, that sounds great. Like no, that you would never say that in any other circumstances. If a gallon of milk went up $3, would you be like, yeah, you know what? It deserves to be $3 more. Like no, you'd fucking complain.
Yeah.
And people would be like, oh, but it's video games. Oh yeah, you don't need milk either. Milk is actually bad for you. So. Yeah, but if it went up in price, you'd be complaining. Look at eggs. Eggs freaking like $8 for a dozen. Like that's insane, right? You
Absolutely.
don't need eggs, but the fact that they're increasing in price is annoying. So when prices go up, I don't like it. However, as you said, all these games are coming to Game Pass, which I already pay for. So it's like it's a non-issue for Xbox gamers, which is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
If you're not an Xbox gamer, this doesn't affect you, so you shouldn't care about it. Like it does not matter to you.
Yeah, it's that fake outrage, that Twitter outrage.
Yeah, it's that Twitter outrage that they're trying to make. Oh, look at this, they're increasing prices too. Like, yeah, yo, we get it. They said it already. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, we already got it figured out. Just get on Game Pass. Like. There's nothing to see here.
You know who should be really mad? The people who brought Forspoken day one. Because it has already been discounted to $59.99.
Are you serious?
Yes. So if anybody you want real outrage,
nah.
you need to be mad at Square Enix.
Yeah, nah, I would be upset.
They dropped the price from $70 down to $59.99 mere days after it was released.
Yo, that's crazy.
That's real outrage.
Yeah, I'd be yeah, no. I'd be throwing some controllers over that.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
No, it's and honestly, even though that it is $70, and I mean people still buy these games. Like let's not beat around the bush. Like there's people who don't want to pay for Game Pass. Like that's fine. If you don't want to pay, if you want to own your games, go right ahead. And I know like this price increase is like it's not ideal, but that's why options are a thing. Like you just said earlier, options are only good. So if one thing isn't appealing to you, you don't want to spend that extra $10. That extra $10 can go towards a Game Pass subscription where you can get those games and more. Like it's
hundreds of games for the same price.
Hundreds. It's yeah. So that it really doesn't. It makes no sense not to do it. At least to try it. You know.
Yeah. I mean, you can try Game Pass for $1.
Yeah.
So like you literally just sub for $1, try a game. If you like it, you either buy it or you continue Game Pass subscription. That's it.
Yeah, and even now, like they freaking have deals all the time, or like on CD keys or stuff like that. You can get like a 3-month for the price of like 2 or something like that, and you stack them up, and then it's cheaper. You save like a whole $100. I've known people that do that. They have Game Pass stacked up all the way to like 2025.
Oh yeah, When they had that $1 deal, where you can convert your gold to Game Pass.
Yeah,
yeah, it was insane. People were stacking 3-4 years for like for pennies on the dollar for the
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So but they also something that I just found out today. So they're also offering so for Game Pass for people who are playing through Game Pass, if you feel like because there's some people that are still under the assumption that you pay for Game Pass, it doesn't like help the developers or whatever. Like even though that's been proven false, Microsoft pays these people to put their games on the service. But
Yeah.
even so, and I mean, granted, this is Bethesda. They own Bethesda. Obviously, they're gonna pay them. But you can if you're playing the game through Game Pass, you can get the deluxe edition for like the extra amount that you would if you paid full price.
Yeah.
Like you get like the difference from the regular to the deluxe edition price. I think it's like $20, and you get all the extra content.
This so like in an instance where we can use this as an example, Hi-Fi Rush came out, on Game Pass, and if you wanted the deluxe edition, it was only $8.99
Yeah,
for Game Pass subscribers. So like you'll get all this extra content for $8.99, or you could just play the game, whatever.
yeah,
So there are a lot of deals out there, that make Game Pass pay for itself.
exactly. And it helps because now not only that, you're kind of like double dipping, which also helps the developer. So it's like it's a win-win.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, the fake outrage is nonsense.
That's all it is. People want to be mad. They're gonna make something, make something up to just be upset about.
Yeah,
a lot of keyboard warriors out there.
absolutely. See them every day.
So we'll continue on with Xbox surpassing 120 million active users. Also, Game Pass reaching new highs as I think it was like 25 million users for Game Pass. And this all comes where Xbox has a major decline of about 12 to 13% of decline throughout the year of 2022. So they did have a decline, but on the plus side, they have more active monthly users. They're reaching record highs with Game Pass, which is what they wanted, but hardware sales and everything went down. And I think that mostly has to do with just Xbox not having any games for 2022, or very minimal games.
Yeah, I mean there's no way to go around that. Like they had a very abysmal 2022.
Oh yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me that they weren't able to make up like the sales that they probably because I think what was it in 2021? That was when Halo came out, right?
Yeah, it was delayed. Yes.
Yeah, so it was Halo and Forza. So
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that boosted a bunch of numbers in that regard, and I mean I know Game Pass also does that too, because they've had good months throughout the 2022, and that was without any exclusives to market. But
Yeah, exactly.
overall, it's down because now we're reaching out of the pandemic. There's a lot of people, a lot hurting now because they're not getting their unemployment checks, and we're heading into a recession. So people are not buying as much. Like we're all hurting.
Yeah, a lot of people, with high inflation.
And that too. That's what I meant to say too.
Yeah, high inflation. People just are saving more and more because they don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's becoming harder and harder. So it's not a surprise. I expect Sony to be down too. Maybe not Nintendo, because I feel like Nintendo's always freaking going up.
Where Nintendo's a little bit like Nintendo and Sony are a little bit different because they have a whole different economy. They're Japanese based. So,
yeah, that's true.
They just report on the numbers for America or the West, but they're a little bit different economy. We're speaking about Xbox. We're talking about
the main thing is
the
the
United
West.
States economy.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
They're based here in I think it's Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like they're basing it off the United States economy. So it's a little bit different for the other companies, because they could be posting declines, but it probably not nearly as much as the declines for Xbox.
Yeah, because it really just depends on how the country is doing, like Japan and stuff like that, which I don't know.
Yeah, me either. So you're gonna continue here. We have some news out of Squanch Games. The co-founder Justin Rowland is out as CEO of High on Life. So as we all know, the controversy routine,
Yeah,
Justin
if
Roiland,
if
or
you
if we
don't,
don't,
if you don't know, you can listen to the most recent episode of Excuse Me Brother podcast where we go into detail about
yes,
why Justin Roiland is out.
yes, he's out. So he resigned January 16th, which um will only be good for both Squanch Games and like Cartoon Network and everything, because you don't want to be associated with that type of negativity,
Mm-hmm.
for the company, especially off of a great release of High on Life. High on
Yeah,
Life did really well. It even sold well. It did amazing on Game Pass. It got great feedback from both critics and uh gamers alike.
yeah,
So them cutting ties with Justin Roiland was the right thing to do. You need to now just move forward, and hopefully they'll find a great substitute for the many voices that Justin Roiland contributed to both Squanch Games and um to the show, the Rick and Morty show.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
because let's be
yeah.
honest, like Justin
Just
Roiland's voice was
what?
like the marketing for a lot of stuff that he's associated with.
Yeah,
So and that's what we were talking in the chat about this. Like I was saying that they might find like a replacement for the voices already in the game. You were
you was
saying that they didn't have enough like
yeah.
budget for that.
Remember, Squanch Games is an indie developer.
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna have to. They're gonna re-record all the lines that he did for the game just because of what happened. It happened in the past. It's done. He resigned. That's it.
I
Move forward.
know.
If you want to don't replace things. Don't replace like what he's already done, right? Just go forward with getting somebody new to make new content. Just like
Yeah,
that famous TikToker, as Sean Kelly says, who sounds eerily like Justin Roiland.
yeah.
Get him to do it. There you go.
I mean, I hope he gets it because
I
honestly,
mean,
like I don't see anybody being able to do the voice as well as he has.
I mean, or so he met with Justin Roiland a long time ago. So they've talked. They've had contact before in the past, just because he sounded just like him. And recently, he actually posted on his social media. Sean Kelly says that he had an interview with them. Not Squanch Games, but people who the creators of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, Dan Harmon and all that.
Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, that's a good sign. You got the people on TikTok, his social media, and just a lot of people calling for him to sort of take the mantle now, since we can't have Justin Roiland, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. That's
But that's the
let him
thing.
go.
That's also it's a double-edged sword because his voice is tied to so many things. Like that's what you know him for. It's that voice.
Yeah,
That also means that if you can find somebody else to do that voice, he's easily replaceable. It's not like he added anything different, which it sucks, but I mean, granted, after everything that happened to
yeah.
him, fuck that guy. Um
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Though it's the truth.
yeah.
They found
So
somebody who was so good in mimicking his voice that they can't replace him. So because of what he did, fuck him. That's it. No,
yeah,
we,
just
we
let
gotta
somebody
replace him
else.
already.
Yeah, and nothing. Well,
Oh,
everything will go on
oh,
as normal. So it's like
exactly.
honestly, people might not even know. Like the people just watch the show just to watch it. They don't even know who the hell he is. They
Yeah,
won't even know anything changed.
exactly. They'll never be able to tell. Most people, like, people listen to the news and stuff, but nobody knows who Justin Roiland is unless you
Yeah,
say, "Hey, he's the voice of this character
yeah.
on this show," and you
Yeah,
show them
that's
a picture
exactly.
of it.
Yeah, nobody would know him by name, but if you say, "Oh, that's the voice of Rick and Morty," you're like, "Oh yeah, that guy."
Yeah, exactly. Just move on. What Sean Kelly says. He's got my vote.
Yeah, mine too. But as far as like Squanch Games is concerned, I hope they're able to like replace him as well because
Uh,
again, he
he,
was the marketing for that game. Like you bought that game because it was that voice. and it was, oh, that's the Rick and Morty voice, like, and it's that style of humor as well. Like, granted, the humor can still be there, but a
But
lot of people associate the voice with like that type of humor.
yes.
So it'll, I mean, granted, I guess now that High on Life already released, that they can just bank on that and be like, oh, the creators of High on Life, so people will know. But I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be all right. All right, so we're gonna get into a little bit of PlayStation news. We got the DualSense Edge controller came out, and of course, people got it, and they've been testing it out. It's been getting good reviews, you know. But on one side, they had a teardown video where they completely tore apart the whole controller and noticed that the battery is significantly smaller. At least it's over 25% smaller. And as you all know, with a smaller battery, you don't have as much playtime. So, and
Okay.
then we didn't have enough playtime with the regular PlayStation 5 controllers, all the haptic feedbacks and everything on the controller. It takes a lot of battery in order to run a regular PS5 controller. And that has a big battery. Now you have all those crazy cool features inside this dual edge controller, and you put a smaller battery and you have less game time, which kind of sucks. You know,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna pay $200 for a controller and then the battery's only like 3 hours, like come on now,
Yeah,
you
that
know?
when I heard that, I was like, it it kind of it disappointed me a lot because the PlayStation 5 controller is already shitty to begin with. Like, I feel like every time, like, grant I don't play that much, which is why it took me so long to beat God of War in the first place. But I play like maybe an hour or two a day, and I felt like I had to charge that controller every other day.
Yeah, no. When I was playing God of War, I had to keep it on the charger.
Yeah.
Luckily, my particular setup has is close, so
Okay.
But not everybody's setup is like that. People's setups are different, you know. And if they got a $200 controller and they want to sit back on their couch and the couch is some distance away, they can't charge it,
Yeah. No,
you
I
know.
especially like what you said, it's $200. If you're paying four times what a norm, well, maybe, yeah, maybe not four, maybe like three times.
Like it's like two and a half, maybe three.
Yeah, two and a half, three times what the normal controller costs. You expect it to be better. Like the Xbox Elite controller, that lasts so freaking, like, literally I can go maybe like 2 weeks playing
Like,
and
and,
I don't have to charge it. That's
and
an upgrade. That's what you would expect from a
a
premium
beat.
controller. But with this one, you're getting less. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
they say, oh, there's the paddles in the back and the haptic feedback. So it's like they have engineers for a reason. It's not like they were like blindsided. It's like, oh, well, we ran out of space. Like, no, you knew how much space you had. Why didn't you build around that? Like,
Yeah.
would you sacrifice battery that's already small for something that's only marginally better? Like, honestly, there's not much to this controller than a regular controller. Like, yeah, the build is better and you get the extra like features, but the battery shouldn't be smaller for anything in particular.
Yeah, it's definitely a big messed up on the engineers' parts when they made this controller. Like you said, they really should have worked around the bigger battery. Because if you're gonna make a controller way more expensive, like a $200 controller, you gotta put a decent battery in there, a really good battery in there. You can't just skim out on the battery. You're wasting so much. You
Yeah.
know, it just doesn't make sense. I was really upset when I saw it. I was like, dang, I'm never gonna buy that controller, knowing that.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
I was
knowing that
actually
I'm not gonna spend $200 for a controller that's gonna last me 3 4 hours.
Yeah, no. I was actually considering it just because I do like the premium controller. Like, I like heavy controllers. Like, that's why I like the Elite controller,
Yeah,
because I like it feeling good in my hands and stuff like that. So I assume that the it's the as the DualSense Edge, right?
yeah,
Um,
DualSense Edge.
yeah, I thought that it would be the same thing, and I was willing to pay that $200. I mean, maybe not anytime soon, But eventually, I would have gotten it, and now I'm like questioning it because like I don't want to freaking short a battery. Like I don't want to charge my thing every night like a
Yeah.
freaking phone.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, very very short-sighted decision.
For sure. All right, so we have some extra news for PlayStation, but it also has to do with Xbox and the acquisition of Activision. Because apparently it's been reported that the PlayStation boss Jim Ryan was meeting with EU regulators, uh, the so-called antitrust boss Margaret Vestager. He was meeting with them to try and, I guess, convince them more that they need either more concessions and or to try and stop the deal in general. Um,
Hey, hold on, maybe did you listen to me the first time?
what?
No, that's what Jim said.
Oh yeah, no, he's not. He's
No, I
gonna
wasn't
keep
talking to
going
you.
back. Oh, I'm like, what I do? No. Jim Ryan's gonna keep going back. You know, that's why they call him Jim Flying Crying Ryan,
Yeah,
because he's gonna keep flying out to Brussels and keep complaining about Microsoft taking Call of Duty, even though Microsoft has stated publicly many times and even came out and gave out deals to both Sony and Nintendo and PC, even though they didn't have to, they did it anyway. That Call of Duty's not going anywhere. It's staying there. Here's
yeah,
a 10-year deal where you'll have the exact same content, everything for your system. Don't worry. You know, they stated publicly that they're going to keep Call of Duty on all platforms, which it just makes sense. They just spent what, 68 billion dollars. They need to make that money back. You know, they're only gonna make that money back by keeping the game on, you know, the right platforms.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so they were. I forgot who. I forgot his name on who. I think he was like the head of marketing, or he was a head
Uh,
of something at Microsoft. That he came. He went on Twitter and he was basically calling
well,
out
out.
Sony for being like, "Yo, why are you telling lies?"
Yes,
Because
he's actually the current lead communications
that
director
there you go.
for Microsoft. His name is Frank Shaw, and he came out swinging as soon as it dropped that Jim Ryan was over there complaining, and you know Sony's lying. It came out to be like Sony is literally lying to the EU regulators to try and get this deal, you know, throw off the table. He came out swinging. He literally said, you know, we've been clear. We've offered Sony 10-year deal to give them priority on timing, content features, quality, playability, and any other aspect of the game. You know, these are his words, straight from Twitter. He wrote, we also said we're happy to make this enforceable through contracts, regulatory agreements, or other means. He said Sony is a console market leader, and it would defy business logic for us to exclude PlayStation gamers from the Call of Duty ecosystem. And he said our goal is to bring Call of Duty and other games, as we did with Minecraft, to more people around the world so they could play them where and how they want. And he came out and he heard the news and he's like, "Oh no, I'm going to Twitter. This is I gotta say something." And I'm glad he did. I'm glad Microsoft is sort of fighting back against the nonsense that Sony's out there, you know, just talking nonsense.
Yeah,
Xbox is really gonna fight this all the
yeah,
way,
and
and they should.
it's also pretty funny because it also got out that Microsoft had subpoenaed Sony to get information that they had that would help them against the FTC in their case.
Yep.
And Sony is delaying that because they don't want to give that information to help them. So if that's the case, that also helps Microsoft to be like, see, this is why he shouldn't listen to Sony, because they run their mouth, but then when we tell them to show the facts, they don't want to talk.
Exactly. They
So
they they got they got until February 1st. So they delayed the findings for 5 days. The regulators
Mm.
delayed the findings for 5 days.
And if they don't
And
respond, then they
yeah,
can continue forward.
yeah, yeah. And it's also worth mentioning that the FTC came out and did all this blocking or suing of Microsoft to try and stop the deal, just so that way they can try and
Oh yeah,
extend,
yeah.
the
That
EU and the CMA's their investigation, which I thought was just shitty. Like
yeah.
they didn't have a game plan. They're like, let's just do it and hopefully it works out.
No, literally, that's on like that is like below low because it came out. I think it was in like Bloomberg or something like that.
Yes.
That the FTC met with, or maybe they didn't meet. They were communicating with the EU
Uh-huh.
about this acquisition, and the EU said that they were going to meet with Microsoft to discuss remedies or anything like that, concessions, because that's part of the process. They were looking to be like, yeah, we want concessions. That's all we care about. We're not really trying to block this thing unnecessarily. And once the FTC found that out, that's when they filed the lawsuit against Microsoft to try and, I guess, scare Europe, the EU, to block the deal. Like, I don't know what their goal was with that, because the EU didn't, and they're not. They even went against the FTC. I mean, we spoke about it before,
Yeah.
when saying that no, we didn't have any objections to the Bethesda deal, and there was no obligations that we said that Microsoft needed to meet, like the FCC claim, or that they lied about, whatever. So, yeah, the FTC really just wants to like freaking stroke their own ego and make themselves like they want to have the power that the EU has, that they can just make laws or regulation, whatever. Because as it stands now, they can't. They can only tell the government to do it, and then it's up to the government. So
Yeah.
it's just a lot of freaking politics and all that shit. That's why I don't like talking about it, because I get really heated about it. it's
I see.
it's bad.
Well, despite all of that, Phil Spencer did come out and say in an interview he fully expects the deal to still go through. And, hats off to him for having the courage to just,
Yeah,
weather the storm that they're going through over Xbox with this deal, because they're getting a lot of flack from all sides, the regulators,
right.
Sony, everybody. So, just they got to keep pushing, and they're going to keep pushing for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we only know what's been given to us in like news outlets and stuff like that. But if Phil himself, like literally, he's in the trenches, like he's dealing with this firsthand. If he's still confident after all this, then I honestly I don't see why there is anything to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with Sal.
I mean, granted, he's not gonna say, "Oh, I'm not confident," but he also could have just not said anything about it. But
True, he could have been quiet, but he
yeah,
wasn't.
usually when things are tough, when it comes to like stuff like this, these CEOs, they tend to be quiet, but
Yeah.
they're not. So
Yeah. All right. Well, we just got one more bit of news, and it's about the showcases, because we just had the developers direct,
yes,
and we'll talk a little bit about the games that we're excited for, because we did a big recap on our socials, both
Yes.
Instagram and Twitter. So we did a recap there. They, as we know, we said it earlier, during the showcase, they shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush, which was insane.
that
No,
nobody was
didn't-
expecting that. Nobody.
Yeah. I mean, it leaked last night that
The
Hi-Fi
game,
Rush was
yeah,
coming
the
out.
game, yeah, the game
Nobody
leaked
expected
itself.
it to drop during the showcase and day one Game Pass, and like nobody expected that. So it was
Yeah.
a nice little surprise that sort of made the showcase like a high 8 for me.
Mhm.
I love the format of the showcase. What they did, the developers talking about their games, and then it just cut to this graphic of them circling out that game, and boom, on to the next one. They go right to the developers. So I love that format, what they did with the showcase. It was
Yeah.
really cool. I hope they keep that for future showcase. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, I definitely like that format too. I like the fact that they emphasize like dates, like literally after every showcase, and they showed the date, they put it on the little picture or whatever to be like, yeah, this is when that's coming out. So it's not
Yeah.
like, oh, here and then forget about it.
Uh,
One thing
one.
I did find interesting though is that I mean, obviously I found all the things, but like
For,
Forza for Motorsport did not
Mhm.
have a date yet.
I know it
Coming
said
2023.
coming 2023. Yeah. You know
So
what? I there were a lot of theories saying that both Forza, Redfall, and Starfield are sort of like in development trouble. These are unconfirmed rumors.
yeah,
You
I don't
know
know what to believe with that. Like
exactly.
it's really like because there's been talk that development is fine, like that
Yeah.
Starfield is progressing. Then like was it like last week or the week before that start they said that Starfield had play testers. They said it's beyond expectations or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that just came out, so it's like I don't know what to believe. I'm just gonna wait and see.
Yeah. Either way, if the games do technically get like an internal delay where because they were supposed to come out before June, right? According to
Yeah.
last year's E3 showcase, they're supposed to come out before June. If they get delayed until like the fall, who cares? You know, we want good quality games. You know, I don't. I'm sick and tired of receiving a broken Bethesda game. Give me a good game. Because if Starfield drops and it's just as bad as Fallout 76 when it dropped, it's gonna be hell to pay.
I feel like that's different. Like that's
I mean,
that was the first. Well, no, it was Elder Scrolls Online. That was the first one.
yeah, yeah.
It was
I
the
mean,
first one in the Fallout universe because that's it's different. Like
it is different,
Fallout
but
76 is a unique case. I don't think it's really indicative of how Bethesda would go with their games going forward. But they have released really buggy games in the past, so
exactly.
it's not.
It can't be the buggy games that Bethesda's used to come out with. It needs to be a solid game coming out, especially with Xbox not having a great 2022. You know, they need to
Yeah.
hit it out the park with the games that are releasing. Even if they have at least one game coming out every month, and then Starfield gets delayed into the fall, like a November release instead of a June summer release. So what? Let it be. I want the game to be good, and I want it to do well. So if that means I have to wait a couple more months, so be it.
No, you know what they need to do? They need to just shadow drop it.
Oh, that will set the
Imagine.
world on fire.
No, I had an insane like theory. I know it's probably obviously it's not gonna happen, but like let's say they announce the date of the because they're doing a Starfield specific showcase or whatever. If they do that and then at the end they say it's available now,
Oh
that
my
would
god.
I would be crazy.
The
I don't know.
gaming world will be on fire.
The internet
Everybody
would melt. Everybody would just be the. Honestly, I probably wouldn't even be able to play it because it would be freaking clogging up the servers just to download the shit. Like
like
when they dropped Hi-Fi Rush, I couldn't even find it in the store when they announced it because it
yeah.
wasn't even up. Like I had to go like on the website and search it, and it was crazy.
Well, yeah, the shadow drops would be crazy because you could imagine a game like Hi-Fi Rush shadow dropped, and Twitter was talking about it nonstop. It
Yeah.
was on fire between both Xbox people and even Sony people who they were mad. They were like, "Oh, they didn't follow the rules. You know, the critics have
Follow
to
the
get it
rules.
first. You know, they were mad that it shadow dropped. You know, so
Yeah,
you know,
because people got to actually try it and not be hesitant because of reviews.
exactly. So they were upset at that. So I mean, just in general, the conversation around Hi-Fi Rush was was just immense on Twitter when it dropped. So you can imagine a
Yeah.
game like Starfield, if that channel drops, forget about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be over for the internet. I'm not even gonna try it and log onto Twitter that day.
It's gonna be tweet after tweet. It's gonna be
Yeah,
trending. It's gonna be crazy day.
but no.
No,
So the showcase was great. I'm glad that they showed more about Redfall. Mo- Most importantly, because I think I was one of the people who still wasn't 100% sure like what the game was gonna be about.
yeah.
Like I knew they said in like interviews and stuff like
Stuff
that
like
that
that.
it's like more of like like a looter shooter like Borderlands and Destiny and stuff like that, where it's not, because everybody thought it was just, oh, it's Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead, like that's what it looked like. But
Initially,
yeah, initially that's what it looked like, just with vampires. But
but
now that I've seen more and they explain more and all that, I'm honestly very excited for it, because as much as I like Left 4 Dead, I wanted something different, and I'm glad that's what we're getting.
it's definitely different, and it looks good. It looks on par with what they're used to doing. You
Arcane,
know,
yeah.
Arcane with it has that Dishonored style. You know,
Dishonored, Death. Yeah, because like when I played, because I played Deathloop, I completed like Deathloop 100%, and
yeah,
so I know what that game looks like.
yeah,
It looks just like that. Like it has the same like animations, the style, the humor.
yeah.
Like that's what I like, and that's what I want. So
And
I'm very happy.
it looks good. If you're a fan of any of those series between Dishonored 1, 2, Deathloop, I feel like you'll enjoy Redfall, because all those games are single player games. This is can be played as a single player game, but you can also jump in with your friends
Yes,
and do missions together. So that also makes it a game that can last a long time. And
yes, and
we'll
I'm
see
assuming.
much content for it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm assuming they're gonna keep dropping content for it, because
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, but and then Minecraft Legends looks interesting.
I
I feel
was
like
surprised by that. Me and my son were watching the showcase or the developers direct, and we were like, "Oh, that's a." I said it to him. I was like, "That's a Minecraft I could play."
yeah, though. So I'm still like, I'm kind of iffy on it, because like I'm not I'm not really big into, because it's like it's not, is it RTS?
It's a real time strategy. Yeah, but
Yeah,
you're
so
controlling. Yeah,
but you're like actually moving around and stuff like that.
yes, yes.
So I mean, I
And
don't know. I
everybody
guess
has different roles, and you have to work together to defeat the enemy. You have to set traps and build like your sort of like your base, so that way
yeah.
the other people who are attacking you doesn't get through easily. So it looks different than the traditional Minecraft. That's why I was like, this is a Minecraft I could play.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll try it out, obviously, because it's gonna be on Game Pass. But
Day one.
um, day one. But no, yeah, it looks interesting. I'm hoping that I can get into it, because I mean, I like Minecraft. I've played it before. Um, I used to play it when I was in high school on the 360. That was like I used to build, because I used to build like the sprites, the 2D sprites. Yeah, I used to do that. And that was before they added creative on the Xbox version. So
Oh wow,
I would like build the stuff to go up to put the next layer, and yeah, it was a lot.
you're a trooper.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it looks interesting. So hopefully it's actually good.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we have Hi-Fi Rush, which it was the surprise. And when I first saw it, it was one of those things, because I was like, oh, that looks interesting. It looked like it could be a cool little game. And
Yeah,
then they announced that it came out, like you could play it right now. I was like, oh shit. And then that's when I started looking for it, and I couldn't find it. But I was able to find it like after a few minutes, and then I started playing it. I was like, yo, this is actually pretty good. Like
yes,
it's one of those, like, when you find out about something, and then you instantly are able to try it out or see it or whatever. Like that's great. You don't have to wait. You don't have to see about, oh, what a reviewer's gonna think about it. Like you can just go in
yeah.
and
Try
find out for
yourself.
yourself.
Yeah,
Exactly. And that's
yeah.
the
Try
best
yourself.
feeling. Like honestly, I mean, obviously it's not logistically, it's not possible to have a shadow drop every showcase, but I hope that they learn from this and learn how good of a feedback it can have to have these types of games. These like smaller games. Like honestly, they probably could have done this with Pentiment as well. Just have that be like shadow dropped and have it come out whenever.
Yeah,
Because it only helps, because the intrigue causes people to go check it out. Like even
yeah,
if might not be their thing, at least they'll be enticed, because people love when shit comes out like right then and there. Like
Yeah,
that's always a cool thing. Like, oh, you could play it right now. Like people are they're addicted to that stuff.
yeah. I mean, they can
So
literally just be like, "Wait, what? You could John download it right now
yeah,
and just run to the Xbox, download it, and try it themselves."
that happened. I think it was, what was it? It was during the Nintendo showcase or direct. Um, when they announced. Wait, when was it they announced the Smash Brothers DLC? There was something that they announced that they said, "Oh, it was available right now," and I just instantly I took out my Switch and I downloaded it and I played it. Like it was one of those things, and it's like if you tell people to download it right then and there, they will because it's new. People like new shit.
Build it and they will come.
Exactly. But no, honestly, the game is really fun, and I'm glad that they were able to have the success so far that they have.
Yeah,
Because you wouldn't expect it from what was it, Tango GameWorks, that they made The Evil Within and
Evil Within,
Ghostwire
yeah.
Tokyo. Like you would never expect this game to come from them.
Yeah, their range is really great.
Yeah, you can't pinpoint them down. Like you can just tell them to do whatever. And that's great. That shows versatility. So
Yeah, exactly what Xbox needs.
exactly. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But no, the game is like really charming. It's literally like an anime. You're playing an anime. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, rock rhythm anime.
Yeah, and it's so cool. And they got like the beat. Like I'm because I do that sometimes. I don't know if you've ever done this, but like whenever you're playing a game that has like that type of action, like Kingdom Hearts, I just instinctively, like not even like trying to do it on purpose, I smash like the enemies in tune with the fight music or whatever, just because it looks cool. So
Yeah,
to
I
have a
mean,
game based off of that is like that's really like creative.
yeah, I mean they have games like that too. Because as we know, Hellfire Singer that
Oh
came
yeah,
out. It's sort of the same concept, just with guns and you're in hell.
yeah. I mean,
But it's really great because when you play games, you have these combos. You have to hit a combo. When you play action games, you have to hit a particular combo. It's in a rhythm. You're just not realizing it. But now they're honing your skills
yeah, they're
of
making
all
it
the
part of the
paths.
game.
It's part of the game. You have to hit it on the combo if you want a higher score. You have to get the timing right. So it is good fun though. The dialogue is it's funny. It's cheesy, but it's an anime type cartoonish game, so you can pass off all of the cheesy lines because it ends up being a little charming and funny.
It's to be expected. I got into it on Twitter with people who were saying like, "Oh, you guys give this game a pass, but then you go hard on Forspoken." And I'm just like, "Yo, okay. First of all, these are two completely different games. Like one is
Oh,
supposed to be like a fantasy RPG that's like have darker tones. Like literally in the description they say like it's like a hellscape or whatever. Like it's supposed to be like like cringy or like dark and all that stuff. So when you
wait,
have like comedy that just comes out of nowhere in the dialogue, it throws you off. It's like, yo, what the hell is that? Why are they
yeah, yeah,
making jokes? Whatever.
yeah. It
But
comes off as cringy.
yeah, it comes off as cringy because you're not expecting it, and you're like, it catches you off guard and it stands out. Whereas in this game, like everything is like goofy and silly and funny. Like that's the aesthetic, that's the context.
Point.
Yeah, that's the point of the game. So it makes sense that the dialogue is, and also that's how animes are. Like I said, it's like an anime game. Like that's how animes are. Anime, if you watch a lot of anime, it's pretty cringy. Like let's be honest, we
Hold
give
up,
it a
hold
pass.
up,
Hey,
hold up.
listen, I like anime. It can be pretty cringe at times.
I don't know what anime you watching, but you're on thin ice right now.
Listen, anime can be very cringy. That's not to say it's a bad thing. That's what I'm saying. You
Okay.
expect it because that's part of the whole point. Like if you watch like freaking One Piece, Dragon Ball, like Naruto, like I'm just naming the big three. But those they can have pretty cringy dialogue because that's what it is.
Yeah. It's I get it, but people are gonna find something to complain about.
Yeah.
So, the developers direct also announced two more things. They announced that GoldenEye 007, the
Oh
N64
yeah.
port, It's dropping. It actually dropped this past Friday, and I actually been playing it. And of course, the nostalgia is just coming back. Like I knew the first three, the first three levels off the back of my hand. I knew where all the enemies were. Still, I was
Damn.
just like, man, this is great. I missed this game, but of course, it still looks like a
It's
crappy
an
Nintendo
N64.
64 game. I mean, you don't play those type of games for the graphics or the gameplay. You play it for the nostalgia, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, for what it's worth, it's a fun little game to get back into, and of course the achievements aren't that hard to get in. So
Yeah.
it was fun to play.
Yeah. I never really like I didn't grow up with GoldenEye as like a lot of people did, so it's kind of like, oh, okay, that's cool. But
See, that's the thing. GoldenEye was like sort of like the first, the first person shooter you can go and take a gun and fight like in that setting. They
yeah.
did it with the multiplayer, and we had a blast playing it on the 64 when we were kids. So coming from that to what we have now, like it was like one of the first ones. Besides, of course, like Doom and stuff, but
Yeah.
this was
The
a little
first
bit
one for
different.
console, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it was the first one for console where we can play with our friends together, shooting each other. I still remember finding the golden pistol and one shot kills, and it was just a good, fun game to play when we were growing up. And so to experience that today, uh, it was fun. The nostalgia was there.
Yeah. I just wish that they had online multiplayer like the Switch version does.
I mean, yeah,
See, even I know it's
it's
like an
shitty.
emulation thing. Like
Yeah, but it's
it's
still
not.
shitty.
Yeah.
It would make it a lot better if they had the multiplayer.
If it had
It would
like
make it a lot better.
native multiplayer, like not split screen, because I know because on the Switch, the way it works is that it's split screen, but the other controller ports are somebody online. So it's like it's online, but not really, because you can still like screen watch and whatever,
Yeah, it's
which
weird.
kind of defeats the purpose.
Either way, it's weird. It's not full native multiplayer.
Yeah,
Xbox doesn't have it. It's just a single player game, but it's still
honestly,
fun nostalgia to play.
honestly, I mean, this probably like a licensing nightmare, which is probably why it took so long for it to come like this in the first place. They should remake it. Just remake GoldenEye like with a new like engine, whatever.
That would be interesting. We'll see.
Because I know
It'll be interesting.
they kind of did it. I think it was for the Wii, and then
Oh
they
God.
released it for like 360 and PS3, where like it was the Daniel Craig, uh, James Bond, but it was
Oh,
GoldenEye. But I don't remember if that did good or not. I can't remember.
I don't remember that, so I doubt it.
Yeah, I mean yeah, you're probably right about that one. But they should remake it. I feel like that is been enough time, but it's probably not even worth it
Yeah,
financially because of the licensing and stuff.
yeah. Well,
But
the last bit of news that came out of the developers direct was the Elder Scrolls Online announces a whole new chapter called Necrom, where they announce a new class you could play as and new Daedric lords and stuff, and just more content for that game, which is huge. They announced that content coming, and then they said, okay, you can play all the content that's came out before for free right now, which was huge, because
yeah,
some people didn't pay for like the Morrowind update or anything, so now
yeah,
it's all free so people could play. And that was a big deal for the ESO community, because the ESO community is still out there. I know my wife is definitely one of them who still plays. She still goes out and does trials and dungeons, and she kills other people inside Citadel and all that.
yeah. I mean, it's good that they're continuing to get more content because I think ZeniMax Online is supposed to be working on a new game, which was
Well,
what I was expecting to see. I don't know. It's like they said they're working on a new IP, so I don't know
they
how far along it is, but
they could still be working on a new IP while dropping. They have many different
yeah,
studios, so
true, true. So yeah, no, it's good that they're still supporting this game, even though I mean I'm not like I said before, I'm not an Elder Scrolls guy,
yeah.
Fallout guy,
Mm.
so
Elder Scrolls with guns.
Elder Scrolls with guns.
Yeah, I mean that's it for all the news. And besides that, after this developers direct, they came out and stated that they're going to officially confirm they're having a summer showcase as well as the Starfield Bethesda showcase. So that's
Yep.
the biggest news, that they're gonna continue with more showcase. Xbox is out there showing people what they got, either coming this year and or into the future.
Yes. Well, I'm glad that they're hopefully this showcase, the developer direct is a sign of things to come, and I hope that they're able to do one of these a quarter, because I feel like it makes more sense to do that. So like one now, one in June, maybe one in September, or maybe not a quarter, but like have more sporadic.
Well, they're definitely gonna. Well, they're gonna do a Starfield one. Who knows when that's coming? Maybe it's definitely. I think it's
I
before
guess,
the
yeah, I
summer
guess,
showcase.
yeah, I
Then
guess
they're
that
gonna do the
counts.
summer showcase, and who
Then
knows
they
what
could do
they'll
like
have for
a
the fall.
fall, yeah, maybe do a fall like in September, October.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, but they definitely need to like have a better cadence. And I know Phil Spencer in an interview said that they need to do better. So hopefully it's a sign of things to come.
yeah. They need exactly. They need to do better. Let's hope they do, and hopefully we get some great games.
Yes. But so yeah, that'll do it for us. We talk about a lot of stuff. Like honestly, I was worried that we weren't gonna have enough content.
I feel like you say this every
I
week.
know, I do. And we go into it and then it's like we just keep doing it and it works.
Yeah,
Like literally we were like halfway through the news. We didn't even get to the FTC stuff and it was like half hour in. I'm like, damn, okay.
yeah. We're always gonna be good. We got it.
We got it. So
We got it.
that'll do it for us. Thank you for listening. Could follow us on our socials. If you're watching the video, it'll be there. If not, you can go on our link tree. The brother, well, we added a new member to our little family. You wanna introduce him? And so I mean, maybe he could be in a future episode if he wants.
Yeah. We'll feature him. So we added brother Matt, who's going to be doing our social media stuff, for our TikTok, our Instagram, and Twitter. He will be on the front lines, dropping news daily as it happens. So hopefully, if you guys are interested in our content, you will also follow the social medias there, because brother Matt is hard at work, dropping content for us every day.
Yeah,
And
shout out to him. He's
yeah.
doing a great job, because there be some stuff that like I didn't even know about, like I didn't see, and I see it pop up on the Twitter. I'm like, oh shit, that's real.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. And we're thankful for him for, continuing our social media and expanding on what we had and making it better for all our followers, our listeners, and everybody who enjoys the content.
Yes,
Yeah,
helping us out. All right, so we'll catch you guys next week with our. I mean, hopefully there's not much news that happens between now and next week, because we're actually recording that early, so we can have a weekend for a change.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see you next week for the God of War spoiler cast. We'll be all four of us at the helm, and it's gonna be interesting. So
Definitely.
we'll see you then. Bye.
Later.